Yo, we back live on location, man. Coming to you live from a private location, architectural digest type location. But we just gonna leave it at that. We got the blackest one. We got a 3-time repeat offender in the building, man. I feel like he part of the show. He might get some executive producer credits or something like that, man. We got one of the legends of the game, one of the biggest stars in the game, one of the baddest boys doing it. Y'all know who he is. Y'all know what his name is. Kevin Durant, baby. Easy Money Sniper.
Once again.
This man been here, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He veteran mode, 3-peater.
Let's get it. Who was the first person that you bust his ass when you came back, and the first person that you felt like bust your ass?
Jesus,
like I'm in it, off the injury.
Yeah. I would say when we played Atlanta on like this year, you played like a mini series. We played them 2 games.
They made everything kind of like.
Yeah,
like as possible.
Exactly. So Atlanta came to Brooklyn for 2 games. In that first game, we squeaked past them. Like they was up. I ain't gonna say who I bust their ass, but or who bust my ass. But like when I woke back up to the NBA game. It's like when we played them, and how fast they was coming off screens and picking rolls. And for me, I knew that would be the toughest part to adjust to, with all the movement in the game and shit coming off the screens and staying with my guys. So like they was having like 2 or 3 actions at once, and then Trey come off the screen and roll, and they was just throwing lobs so quick. And they beat us pretty good that second game. I was like, yo, these youngins is and the league is getting younger too. So I was like, damn, I gotta really lock in so I could be able to keep up with them. I had a good little series against them, but Trey really did a nice little number on us that series, and kind of controlling the game for them. So playing against them young dudes really got me going early in the season.
Yeah.
What was your adrenaline like that first game back? I remember watching it on TV, and obviously we all saw what we saw. But tell me from your perspective, like how was your emotions and your adrenaline level after being out for all this time, and now you got to witness the Brooklyn crowd from the situation you were, but like now you getting announced to the crowd, you about to play.
Yeah,
how was that for you?
Yeah, so it was the bubble. Early on it was no crowd, so it was a little different. But playing the games, it was like I felt like I had 2 separate seasons. I had to get used to fans again.
Yeah,
and then playing on top of that. So like when that first game, it was like it didn't even feel real, because it was just like I spent so much time away, and I forgot almost what my routine before the game and what I'm supposed to do before the game, because I forgot how I got prepared, So, and then I had to just learn my routine again and get used to it again. But that first game, it hit me. But as soon as the ball get tossed up, it's hoop at the end of the day, But, it's the whole presentation before all that stuff that get you riled up and get you into the game. And I had to get used to that part again. And then once the crowds start to come in, you start to hear the chat in the stands. You start to hear especially on the road, that energy just come back, and that was exciting too. I didn't know how I would take that, and then to step it up to the playoffs, which is a whole different level again. You know what I'm saying? Where intensity from the warm ups is there. So it was good getting reacquainted, and it was fun doing it with the group we had.
Tell me this, before the season started, you was one of the guys that got to work with your boy Drizzy at the Nike headquarters how was it doing that video and working with Drake in general? I mean, that's your partner.
Yeah, man, he's first of all, he's a true student of the game. I mean, he really respects the game of basketball, and you can hear it in his music too. But he's just good he's great. I don't want to say good. He's beyond great at what he does. He's great at the skill is rapping, can make songs, can put together videos, and that video he put together was all his idea. He came up with that, and
so he just hit you up.
Yeah, so to be a part of it, he just hit me up, said, I got a scene I want to shoot, and I want you to be a part of it. And I was like, of course, bro. It's going to go down in history as one of his joints.
Drake video.
So, yeah, you one of the greats. So, yeah, of course, I had to go show up, and then you see Kawhi in the joint.
Hey yo, that was epic,
That
dog.
was
Like out of
epic.
everything, that was like something that like nobody expected.
And it was Kawhi to the T. So like he really fuck with hoops. Oh, excuse my language. He really like hoops. So like, I mean, he cool dude to be around.
You listen to the CD?
Of course.
Which one is your favorite song right now?
Probably the 7 a.m. joint and the intro. Them two.
Yeah.
I mean, every joint is
No
fire.
friends in the industry.
Yeah, that joint is hard. I mean, like he came with it with this joint.
Yeah.
How sick was that though to do like, cause y'all was at the Nike headquarters, like nobody.
Yeah, I mean that too.
Like how sick was that?
And the joint, and it was close, and nobody was there.
That's
like,
what I'm saying. Like the whole joint shut down.
And he pulled up two rare like
OBJ in it.
Bro, he pulled up two like concept card, two Benzes, them joints. I'm like, yo, how'd you get these in Portland? I was like,
in Portland,
these are the only two in the world, probably. Like, man, it's just like his taste level is on a, he knows how to put together, package up who he is and show it to the world at a elite level, and to be a part of it was dope.
Yeah,
then you had to be on a hush hush with it, huh?
Yeah, for a couple weeks. I didn't want to go crazy and tell everybody I was in it, but so when it dropped, everybody was surprised. It was dope.
Oh, that was definitely fire.
Where was you when you found out that James Harden was going to be a Brooklyn Net?
We had a game that day. We had it was a back-to-back. We were playing the Knicks in the Garden, and we had a big win the night before. We played Denver at home. And I was like, yo, I'm really trying to win this back-to-back. We get that off day, it just feel better when you win that back-to-back, especially against the Knicks. And then the trade went through, I think, and half our team was gone. You know what I'm saying? So we played that game with we had a couple two-way guys that had to play some big minutes for us. So I was like, I still want to win this game, though. But I was excited that James was going to be coming to the team. I knew he was going to add something different and unique, and he would love playing in for this organization and being in New York. So I kind of, I was excited for him taking his next step, but I also knew he had a game that night too. So, it's just the beauty of the league. Anything can happen. Stuff like that can just change the whole landscape of your organization in a matter of moments, and that's what it was.
Y'all play together coming in, and to see him and Russ playing in Houston, then now he playing with you, like, how crazy is that? Yeah. To see that I got a chance to play with my homeboys on one team together. And now I got the homie in Houston, then I can.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about that. Just like, man, it's crazy where our careers has gone. I mean, we learned so much together early on, and then we all took our separate routes, and, we playing together now. We seeing things different. We seeing the league different, and to play together at this point in our careers is, like I said, when we experience so much stuff, is good when you combine all of that knowledge and put it into one to try to get that common goal, which is the win. So with all his knowledge that he learned over his time in Houston, making deep playoff runs and having incredible individual seasons, and stuff that I did throughout my career, we just always trying to figure out different ways to get better. It's cool having that dialogue with somebody that experience the game just as much as you, and then you add in Kyrie, who's on that same level mentally. We just always trying to figure stuff out, and that's the fun part, when you can play the game and then think the game with your teammates.
I remember hitting you after that trade went down, just like, really? Like, you know what I'm saying? You was just like, that's crazy, right? I'm like, this about to be crazy.
Yeah.
Everybody always talk about in New York, Knicks, Brooklyn, all of this and that. Obviously, you went to Brooklyn. Tell me how it is for you living in New York, that whole Brooklyn Nets, New York Knicks atmosphere and thing, when y'all play them and there and here and just being in the city. How was it for you?
It's fun. I mean, it's obviously full of Knicks fans, and we got a small section of fans that show support. But it's fun. It's fun being, I guess, a little dog in the city. A lot of historic teams in the city, and being one of those teams trying to do something that's special. And I feel like we're building our fan base out slowly but surely. A lot of people come to watch us play. You're seeing more and more black jerseys around the city. So But the Knicks, they went to the playoffs this year, had a good year, and then they got some good signings this year. So I think the games are going to be super competitive, especially with the fans being back, because they ain't get to catch us. I think they might have catch us with like maybe 20% fans one game, but I don't think they caught the whole series this year with fans. I may be mistaken, but this year is going to be packed out, and everybody's going to be going crazy in the Garden. Yes. And I think Barclays is really going to come with it too. Well, I know Barclays is going to come with it too on that game. So, I'm excited about it because both teams got an amazing future.
How was it to see Kyrie in person, being on this team, seeing him in person, really getting work from that angle?
It's ridiculous, his skill is funny to the point where like he'll pull off like we'll go through a play or something and then it's over with and he'll like grab the ball and like toss up a high touch the ceiling layup with his left hand and it'll just go in so easily and just like he just casually just pop just go sit down. It's just like little stuff like that he'll be doing and it's like his routines are even impressive, even when we walking through stuff, you know what I'm saying? So like
crazy.
Man, he a savant. I mean, and it's like fine wine, it's only getting better and like he mastering all aspects of basketball at that position. Like he was even dunking this year.
Yeah, baseline. Boom.
When you somebody dunking, you know what I'm saying? They usually
good.
lay, like you tell
Boom.
like they on some shit. You know what I'm saying? So
Real
like
tough.
he was just doing stuff like that, playing great defense, getting 4 or 5 steals in a game. So he like mastering his craft. I mean, I'm sure he already mastered what he does, but as far as like doing every single thing on the floor, I think we asked him to do so much and he does it every time. But how he works on this game, how he influences the young dudes, is like that shit was impressive. Because nobody talk about that with Kai. Like he took a lot of dudes under his wing this year. Landry Shamet, Joe Harris, even Karras before he got traded, Mike James, like everybody he was working out with, giving them just being there for him. And it's just like, he really is a all around just true basketball player, pure basketball player.
Remember I told you, right? You guys were playing the Magic, and the Magic, y'all were gonna play them the next day, and the Magic had, I do the broadcast for them. So I'm sitting there the day before, we doing the broadcast where they were on the road. I think I forget who they were playing on the road, but then they had to come back, play on a back-to-back.
Was that there?
I don't.
I think I was there. I was
you
hurt.
Were there,
I was there.
You were hurt, but he over in the gym and he working out. Kyrie, we up in the broadcast booth doing a thing, and we hear somebody start bouncing the ball. Turn around, it's him. He got like 2 or 3 trainers with him. I took footage. I ain't put it out there, but I got footage of him when you talking about his routine. Remember I told you this. My boy it was on some Kobe shit.
Well,
all left hand. He just sitting there flipping himself the ball. He was doing so much janky, like floaters, Euro this way, Euro the wrong way, right leg, all type of like, and it was just finishes, all left, all left, all left. Then he went and started doing some mid-range. I was just like, yo, this boy really doing all left hand. Like, remember I showed, I had like a minute video. I said, yo, I'm showing my kids this, bro. Like, this is crazy.
Like,
and his efficiency with it was ridiculous.
Like, you don't miss those shots. Like, I worked out with him. Like, we get our workouts in here and there, throughout the season. And like, when my turn to follow him for the day, like, it's like, pick up Euro to the left hand. I mean, off the right foot, left hand. And I'm like, I maybe can make like probably like 2 out of 7 of these. He making like 5 out of 7 of these.
For real.
It's like, I don't
Glass,
go to that.
High glass,
I don't go
crazy
to that.
stuff.
He goes to
Spins,
that
like
in
using
the games.
English.
Yeah, he goes to all of that in the games when he may be getting cut off as a bailout shot when he really need it. And you see it in the highlights how many times he get cut off and he flick it up with his right. And I'm just like, yo, when you that size and you got to have that different creativity to get your shot off amongst so many people that's taller than you come up with some crazy stuff. And he just a creator out there. You could tell he sees stuff, work on it, and then implement it. And it's powerful to watch. It's like when you get up close to him, you get inspired.
How was it for you to just see him and James kind of mesh real quick?
It was fun. It was fun because first day, we had a nice practice. We got some time to practice, and we were running through plays, and the dialogue was cool. You know, like, all right, this is where I want the ball so I can score. I know when guys feel comfortable when they're like, yo, I want to score it. Because when you get guys on the team like that, the first thing you want to do is try to come off and pass. Well, guys like, this is where I like the ball, where I'm going to score. And I'm like, I can roll with that. Because we all willing passers, but I want to see you do, punish somebody that's in front of you. So Kyle was like, this is where I want it. James understood, like, all right, I'm naturally just head to the point. And I'm in my position. So it's just like now it's just like, all right, man, we just need some time to actually figure out, how we going to make it work in real games. So I think from day one, we understood our roles and what we need from one another. And now it's just building that camaraderie each day, by playing.
Yeah, how tough was it with you three in particular being limited with the times y'all really had to be on the court?
It was tough. It was frustrating, for sure. I mean, that was the one thing that frustrated us all. It's just like when I would come in, Kyle might be down.
Right.
And then when Kyle come back, James go down. And then when we all finally get back, I'm down for 2 months, So it was definitely frustrating, but we stayed patient and realized that, we in it for the long haul. And then the playoffs hit, and then it happened again with James and Kyrie.
That was crazy.
Yeah, but it's a part of the game, and we know that, I don't want to say it's out of our control because we can definitely, work on what we need to work on, but some of that stuff, it just happens. So we just got to, keep our head down, keep working, and when that time comes, make sure we're ready.
I was to see James, even though he was hurt, to, at least go out there and give the effort.
Yeah, it was inspiring. It definitely ignited the crowd and gave us some extra energy seeing him out there. You could tell they appreciate him giving that effort. And obviously we thought, the world of what he was doing, is wanting to come out there and give us an extra push. I didn't think it was a good idea because I'm like, man, I didn't want him to get re-injured. I mean, the hamstrings is tough. So
everybody who know anything know he was hurt out there.
Especially hammies, we all had those. So it's like I was second guessing. I was like, I don't think it's the right idea, but he calmed me down a bit and made sure that that he'll be all right out there and he'll provide what he can provide. So I trusted him, and we all trusted that, and the trainers made sure that he was cool, he didn't hurt it anymore. So it was definitely inspiring. I'm glad he was able to get through without getting re-injured.
How hard was it to keep on going in this locker room and looking at the two guys that supposed to be the superstar face? Like in the playoffs, you going in there and I'm looking at y'all and it's like, man, y'all can't give me nothing. Just seeing how sad they was, that they couldn't help.
Yeah, I understood that. It was frustrating, and it was at the worst time it could happen. And I felt for them. But at the same time, I understood that it'd be a valuable experience for the other guys on the team that didn't play in those type of moments before. That's a pressure-packed game. We're almost basically pressure-packed series, almost like, the championship, because you played against the guys that won in the 7-game series that came down to the last shot, So it was like most pressure a lot of the younger guys played in the league, So it was good for them to get that experience and had to step up a role and do more, you know what I'm saying? So the toughest basketball in the world, you got an opportunity to see who you are. I thought that was good for them. But I felt for Kai and James.
And y'all, not only him, y'all was down. Y'all had signed Aldridge, he was out.
Yeah.
Then you had Dinwiddie, who was out.
Yeah.
Like Dinwiddie, we had him on. He said, listen, if it was no injuries, y'all would have won the championship hands down, no question.
We had a great chance.
See, I knew you was gonna say something different because you've been there. You know it's a little bit.
Yeah, I know. It's definitely easy to say. I like our chances. What are all of us healthy? We lost by a basket. We had all world scores. You could just add the numbers up and think, we could have won, but it's much more difficult than that. But I definitely loved our chances, especially with everybody healthy. Spencer, you know what I'm saying? We had a deep team, so. But it is what it is. We learn from that. We'll move on and get better for next year.
How was it seeing Blake Griffin go from not dunking to dunking again?
Blake was like, man, y'all was making such a big deal of me dunking, but really I ain't had no opportunities to dunk when I was in Detroit. I was like, that make more sense for sure. But it was good to see him play some meaningful basketball and go out there and show himself. And I mean, he don't care about everybody else, but for me as his homie, like, it was good to show everybody else that he still hoop at that level. You know what I'm saying? So he's a valuable piece to what we doing going forward, and going through that little run, that little mini run that we had, and now going into the next season, we getting just more and more comfortable with each other, and I think that's gonna help.
Yeah, it looked like he came right in and fit his role perfectly. And people used to talk about him like, why he shooting all them threes, but man, he hitting them joints now.
Yeah,
and,
they look
and that's
good.
part of his game, and
Yeah.
and like that's a big key to what he be doing. So I like Blake Griffin, how he doing this thing for y'all now.
He came in and fit in well.
How was it for you? Like, obviously you got to start a relationship when you were sitting out, but how was it for you to get to play and develop the relationship with Steve Nash as a coach, player-coach, relationship?
It's fun. I've been with a couple first-time head coaches.
Mm-hmm.
Billy Donovan, Scotty Brooks, and now Steve. And when you started to see coaches get comfortable, that's now that I'm older, I'm starting to recognize little stuff now.
Right.
So, you've seen Steve get more comfortable. It's just, you can hear a pin drop right before film. You know what I'm saying? You can, his message is, it's way more clear than it was from day one. And day 60 is just like, exactly what the hell what needs to be done in order for us to be successful. So to see him get more comfortable as a coach and just get used to walking the sidelines after being a player for so long and being thrown at it so quick, it feel like it happened
at
quick
a
for him.
high level with a magnifying glass, extremely.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like he handled it great and learned just because it's much more than just X's and O's. It's personalities, it's training staff. That's a lot to deal with as a coach. You getting told this guy can't practice, this guy can't play, he out for a couple of weeks, and now you got to adjust your team for that going forward. How he handled that was sweet,
especially with a guy like him, because Steve played through anything.
Yeah, and
I know how it is now. It's a lot different, and I know that, like you said, that had to be tough for him.
Yeah, and he's one of those coaches that understands the big picture. He knew that we're a team that looking for, we want to play great in the regular season, but we also know that playoffs is where we want to be playing our best basketball. So when guys were injured, he still kept everybody locked into their next man mentality, and to get players to stay on the same page with so much disruption in the season. It was impressive to see that in a first-year coach. But
that's what I felt like when I would get, doing different stuff, getting interviewed and asked about him being his former teammate. I always said that was his special move. You know what I'm saying? Like, when he was a player, like, that was what made him the MVP. When you think about it, especially the first year when he had me, Joe, Matrix, Amari Stoudemire, and you had a young Amari was about to take over the league before he had the eye and the injury and stuff. Like, he was at this point,
it was a monster.
It was nobody that could do nothing with him at this point. And it was like Trix was already an Olympian and All-Star and a max player. And Joe was right the year before becoming ISO Joe. Yeah. Like, the next year he signed with Atlanta and went crazy. So it was like, to keep all those egos, and it was like, it was seamless. He had a sixth sense. Nobody had to really, he would get it before somebody went over the edge. If I ain't got a shot in a minute, he could sense me getting a little, all right, I need to get Q a shot. Or don't matter what play is being called. No disrespect, D'Antoni. He's not going to disrespect you, but he had a special move with the way to make sure the coach cool, make sure everybody cool, but I'm about to get him the ball.
Yeah.
This is where he thrives. You know what I'm saying? This is his special move.
I can. I mean, you saying like you said, when you may not get a shot for a couple minutes, he can sense, when the guys need, Kai need this play here.
Yeah.
Draw this one up, coming out of timeout to get Kai some space, to get him going, or this the route we need to take James. Like, he sees that, and then in the timeout, he might drop a play for somebody, and so I seen that type of stuff just evolve, and I think that adversity we hit, help everybody on the coaching staff and the players kind of adjust to it the
forced
season.
it.
Yeah, forced that. Because we had to adjust fast. It was like, all right, KD out 2 months. I just played the game before. Now I'm out 2 months.
Right.
Like, what we doing at that position? There's
Straight.
a lot of people, and there's a lot of guys that's in and out outside of me too. James was in and out. Kai was in and out. Landry Shaman at that time, so he had to deal with a lot, and he handled it, with class, and it's only gonna get better, as you get more experience and you lock in more. And I know you've been locked in since we lost.
One of my favorite moments from the playoffs was after your crazy Game 5, and you and Steve Nash had that embrace. And I remember, because I think I DM'd you after that game, like, boy, you in fucking bananas. And I don't know what was going on, but boy, I I don't even hit you. I just let it be. But I was like, nah, I gotta say something tonight. This boy lost his mind. But like that moment to me, obviously it was hella memes and funny. I was like, Blue, you're my boy. But it was just like, to see Stevie do that, it was like he didn't really have the words. It was just like, boy, boy, you just
right now.
Boy, goddamn you, boy, you just did it.
Yeah,
how was when you look back at all of that? Because I know you, obviously, the world was hitting you. You probably got a million messages. Like, what was the craziest thing that you had happen after that game where you was like, yo, this kind of crazy though?
That was, man. It wasn't that. It wasn't one thing. It really felt like. I had so many texts, bro. So many DMs. And
everybody was talking shit. Everybody, what is it?
Before the game, it was
not
just
like that was. That's not validation for you, because
but
what
you
you do.
Hear
but
that
just,
stuff. You still hear that stuff, and you still got some, take pride in what you do. You know what I'm saying? So at the end, it don't affect you to the point where, but you hear that noise. But before the game, it was just crazier, because it was so many people, was even close friends, was looking at it like, yo, man, this is really like a do or die. Like, you really on the line. I had to. That's when my mom had a conversation right before I got in the car to go to the game, and she was just like, you gotta dig deeper to get something out. I was like, yo, every day I walk into this gym, like I dig deeper you talking about, like I'm always there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's no harder I can go in a rep, or it's like no much more focus I can bring. It's like I've been there before. So it's like, yo, relax. I'm just gonna go out there and hoop. But a lot of people just thought like, yo, you gotta go to a different place to get something out of you to go play. I was like, man, at the end of the day, it's basketball. And y'all putting the pressure on the game, but at the end of the day, y'all don't matter. So like, when I looked at it that way, it's just like, I've been in millions of these games before. You know what I'm saying? So, but the chatter before the game was even funnier than afterwards. Yeah, because it was just like they took it so serious.
What's the craziest thing you heard before and after? That had you like, yo, y'all really bugging right now.
Like my coach that I work out with every day, he was just, I can't say just one thing, because everybody was just wilding nonstop.
I saw it too. That's why I'm saying, like, to have that game after, like, with that's why when I said about
I seen
having
so
that type
much
of big
stuff
game,
to the point where I can't even remember. I just remember just the conversation around the whole day. The whole game. It was just like, but this the first time I was kind of getting the same reaction from, like, seeing it from the fans and actually people that was close to me,
and shit.
Because they was like, damn, I ain't never seen you in this position before. I was like, yes, you have, yo. You got to think. Yo, I've been here before where a couple guys injured, and it's basically me and a bunch of younger guys who never been in this position before. I did that in OKC. I did that in plenty of games when I was with the Warriors, not playing with a couple guys that was injured. So I was like, I might not have been at that magnitude or meant that much, but I've been physically in this situation before. Like, so I'm like, yo, if y'all don't relax and, like, you can't send me any more film. My coach is like, yo, you need any more, like, because I watch more film in the playoffs than I do in the regular season. So, like, I was watching every game. Like, yo, you need some film on what they gonna do when you post up. I'm like, yo, if you don't stop texting me, stop calling me, yo, I done seen this game 5. Y'all done seen everything that they gonna throw at me. So just let me go play. And that happened.
So it's safe to say that that's the difference when you in New York City. That was a sample of, like, you feel me? What I'm saying?
Exactly
like,
what it
you
is.
saying everything you said. You've been here before, but now Now you in Brooklyn, you in New York, you in the Mecca, and it's like 1,000,000 cameras, all eyes on you, and everything is way more hyped up than it would be if you was in wherever else you would be. But like now
every
you
radio platform is about big game 5 tonight. Every newspaper, big game 5, and that's the media capital of the world. Like
there you go.
Everybody gonna come to the New York Post and the Times and ESPN New York and all of that stuff to get their info on sports. So it's like I understood from an entertainment aspect.
Was that one of them high peak moments where you really realized, like, okay, this is how it is in New York. Like, this is why they say, this New York, yo, this New York, son, this New York,
I'm
B.
always I'm always scrolling. You know what I'm saying? So I knew the second that Woj dropped that tweet that I was coming to the Nets, I knew what it was. I knew what I was getting myself into, and then seeing all those teams, Knicks teams that you was on, with all that stuff that y'all was going through, and all the teams before, I'm like, New York is one of those hotbeds for controversy and drama and entertainment. So this was one of those times, and I'm one of those guys that I guess I came to New York off of controversy, if you want to call it. So it's like, all right, I'm gonna play that guy to a lot of people in the media and fans. So they wanted to see what was the next, scene of the movie. I guess that's what it felt like, a movie.
Tell me, how good did it feel? Not from a standpoint from everybody else, just from a standpoint. I know how you are a hooper, and you love efficiency and want to be as efficient as perfect as possible. Like that game 5 is like a legendary all-time playoff performance. Like when you got a chance to unpack and really look at that, how did you feel about that game? With everything, all the things that's going on.
Yeah, I like I like that approach that I had to that game, and I like how sharp I kept all my moves. I felt like I was right to the point, and I didn't play around with the ball. That team's a good defensive team, so you can't play around with the basketball. So I felt like I was sharp. I was mentally focused each possession. We went down 18 early, and I like how I just stayed patient with my shots and not try to rush and get us back into the game quick. And so I felt like I was in a good spot mentally, going into that game, and so that's what made it special for me. Is like I didn't feel like it was luck. I knew it was like if I lock in and do what I need to do, and stay with this focus, which is tough, then I can have a game like that. So I felt like I can duplicate that, if I stay with that same mindset. So it was good to get back after not playing for so long and being in that zone, So it was cool.
That was what I saw when I felt like you was, like you said, super locked in, laser focused. Like you said, y'all was down 18. Your demeanor was the same. It wasn't, you ain't really get emotional neither which way. I was like, okay. And then it was like when y'all started to walk them down, I could see it.
Mm-hmm. It was a slow walk too.
It was.
And you could see those games turning, and I felt the confidence building in each one of my teammates, and everybody came through and hit big shots when we needed it, you know what I'm saying? So it was one of those special games that you seen unfolding as it happened. I'm like, when we got down big, I'm like, I've been here before, like been down big, and the fans still cheering loud, and our team still feel like, we might be losing a little hope being down there, but we still on the fence now. And so we cut it to 15, and we slowly get back into it, and like, I feel like I've been a part of a couple of those games before, so it felt a little bit more normal going into the fourth quarter and late in the game.
You know the old saying, long game, boss.
Long game. Game of runs. We always say that. Game of runs,
Even though y'all came, obviously y'all fell short of everything because your big toe. but you come back off of a crazy injury, something that changed people's careers, and you had a crazy. You was on pace, I felt like, to be in the MVP conversation before the 2 months out. And then you come to the playoffs, you average 34 and almost 10. Like, how did you feel coming off that? And then how did you make the decision, I'm going to roll with the Olympic team going straight into it?
Yeah. I mean, I was, definitely, I hated that we lost that series, and I hated how it went down as far as injuries is concerned. But another part of me was kind of, excited about personally where I was going my game, and after being out for so long, so I just wanted to play. I wanted to play more after that, and I felt like I missed so much time throughout the season, and with the injury on top of that, I just wanted to play more and be in an environment again where it's more structured. Like I felt like I worked out enough. You know what I'm saying? Like I wanted some
Season ended
structure and
before
like a task to complete. So I thought that would be a good, something for me to fill my summer up with, and then I got the opportunity to play, under a legendary coach like Pop. And then the young dudes that was on the team that I really, really enjoy watching, so everything worked out. And, so right after the series, Pop called me like, all right, this is the guys that we got on the team. And I didn't even get to tell him like, yo, Pop, I'm coming. He was just like, all right, this is what we doing.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, bet, I'm rocking, so it was cool to kind of get the update on who was coming, the schedule before we was doing stuff. So I felt like I was a part of it from day one, and we grew into what we were. So it was fun to start the process.
How you feel about the hate people trying to hate just because y'all lost a game? Or
yeah, I mean that was we knew that was coming. We just we showed so much perfection over the last 10 years from USA basketball, not losing. And we lost 2019, but before that, when everybody played, we didn't lose and we dominated a lot. So that was in people's minds a lot. So we knew these teams are well coached and understand the game a little bit more. So it's gonna be, and it's always hard putting great players on one team and trying to fit everybody into a role. So we knew it was gonna take some time, and we were missing guys to start camp, and so we was going every which way. We were still trying to figure each other out, so we was gonna struggle a bit, and we did that even up to the first game, and then we had a little meeting as a group, which was the first time that happened in Team USA, a team meeting, but it was good for us to establish what we wanted to do out there, and guys, stepped up and volunteered to play certain roles, and they helped us going forward, and it was a special experience.
What was that team meeting like? Like you said, it's the first one in Team USA history. What's that like? Who's standing up and saying what?
Everybody talking about what we need to do in order for this to work. And it was mainly just like, we need each and every one of y'all to be yourselves. Like, we can't come in here and try to fit in around each other and not step on toes or fear that we may be shooting too much.
Right.
So everybody just vowed to be aggressive when they out there, play as hard as they can on both ends of the floor. And just to hear one another say that, it was good to
out loud. Yeah,
just to get that out loud, and that's what good teams do, great teams do, and it was perfect for us. We had a great mix of older guys and younger guys, and so it was fun.
Did it being secluded help y'all a little bit more because y'all didn't have nobody but y'all?
We had the women's team. We chilled with them every day, which was dope. They was fun to be around. So, it was we spent 3.5 weeks, I want to say 3 weeks in the hotel, just from hotel to the gym every day.
In the Players Lounge. Super told us about the Players Lounge. Y'all had one pool in the Players Lounge.
The Players Lounge. We in there playing a video game, playing cards, drinking wine. It was fun, man. I really, really had a good time with hanging with all of those.
Did you get to know anybody like from either side, like from the women's side, that you really didn't know, that you got to be cool with, that you didn't expect or didn't know already?
Yeah, Chelsea Gray, play for the
point guard.
Yo, she is
cold.
hilarious. I love her. She one of my favorites. Dope. I mean, everybody, Brittany Griner, we all chill every day. Like,
it was cool seeing the Instagrams when y'all was doing stuff.
Was it
everybody.
Your birthday in the tunnel?
No, man.
They all gave what was that all about? Tell me, because you was definitely looking like I don't get it.
So we was walking through to go to the opening ceremonies, and I think the swimming team, it was somebody's birthday that day, and they just went off and was like, happy birthday. It was only 10 of them. And we just all turned around. And I turned around literally 5 seconds later, Draymond starting to chant. It's probably at least, I want to say at least 200 people right there. And we was all packed in a little hallway.
The way you was looking.
And I'm sitting around nah, this can't be for me. And I look at Draymond, he pointing at me. I was like, y'all got me. And then it hit viral just fast. It was funny though.
It definitely went viral.
It was somebody's real birthday right before that too, so it kind of got everybody going.
To win the gold medal and people talking shit from the beginning, then to kind of throw that back in their face, like, yeah, we still running shit.
Yeah.
Like, how was that? How was the champagne on that gold medal?
I mean, it was fun to. I mean, we knew that we had the most talent there. We had we got 12 NBA players.
Exactly.
The rest of these teams had 2 or 3 at the most. So when you look down the line, we had more talent. But as far as coming together as a team and figuring out how we wanted to play, I think that was the journey for us. That's more the celebration for us that we figured that part out. You know what I'm saying? Whatever comes with it, the throwing it back into your face or, I told you so. Like, we ain't really think about that. It was like, yo, we really came through and sacrificed for one another and made big shots and really experienced something new.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys, like Zach LaVine was like, yo, this is the first time I won 4 games in a row since college.
I remember they put that as a stat.
I was just like, damn, I had to think about that for a second. I was like, when you go win a gold medal, like you haven't won nothing in a while, like that mean a lot. So a lot of guys went and won something
For real.
for the first time, like something significant. You know what I'm saying? So that was more so, that was really what our champagne toast was. But, to throw it back in people's faces who doubted us, deep in their minds, they feel dumb for doing that.
To see guys like Zach LaVine and Jason Tatum, them, like that next generation be part of that and see that, how is that to just, watch the guys up on you and see like, man, you got some boys coming through there.
Man, I was like, yo, y'all, I mean, I get what y'all trying to say. Like, the world is catching up to what we doing. I get it. They might got 3 or 4 NBA players that's nice, but we got 12 that's nice. And our top 4 is like Jason Tatum's. Man, so imagine him 4 years from now, 3 years from now.
23.
And 8 years from now when he 30-something and he about to break the scoring record and get another gold medal. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at these guys, I'm like, it's going to be a problem. And then you see the guys who didn't come that's young. The Ja Morants, the Trey Youngs, I'm forgetting so many other guys.
Nah, it's a lot. It's
young,
you say, it's a whole crop of them.
It's a whole crop coming. So it's just like, man, I just see the talent that we got. And the journey is always going to be, that's really what it is for Team USA. How are you going to come together and fit yourself into this group to win as a group,
Where were you when Draymond had to assist Dame with the bottle popping because did you see that or did you see it on the internet? Like,
no, I seen it because I was struggling with mine too, right?
Oh wait, see, hold on, breaking news. See, they try to clown Dame like he ain't never did it before. This man has been his champion many times over, and he's saying he was struggling too. So you good, Dame?
Dame was like, "Yo, you don't want a couple of these. You did this a couple times. What you doing over there?" I'm like, "Let me slide behind the camera."
Had you a tough bottle?
Yeah, I had a tough one, but we still celebrated. I mean, it was fun. I mean, because we, like I said, a lot of guys, was looking forward to just going out there and getting a W. You know what I mean? So to celebrate that whole journey and know that we was getting to go home soon too. It all just came together at once. It was fun.
Did you get on the FaceTime with the GOAT with TB?
Hell
TB
yeah.
12, you got in the FaceTime with him?
What? We all was. We was Draymond threw him on the FaceTime. We like, hold on now. Brady? What? Of course, man. He's so cool. I mean, he chop it up with so many people. I heard so many stories about him, how he just hit people on the side, show them love. To take some time out of his, training camp. I think he was in training camp to come show us some love. It was cool.
How was it for you to, like what you saying, I just listened to how you talk about Pop and the relationship, how he hit you right to the series and you win. How laughable is it for y'all to see stories like, oh, they don't like Pop and this, that, and then like everything you see, like we as players know how it is.
Yeah.
And we see the Instagram videos of him dancing with the Converse on and how the camaraderie, like that this ain't fake as a player. We know this. This is so how laughable is that for y'all to hear? And you already spoke without anybody asking about his greatness and what he's done and who he is to the game. And, just speak on Pop a bit.
Yeah, I mean, some days you don't like Pop. I mean, I think that's a part of his whole thing. You know what I'm saying? He's going to push you to the edge. And he said that from day one. He's like, yo, these practices and film sessions and all of this is going to be tough. I'm going to be on your ass. Like, it's not going to be like you're just going to roll the balls out. So we understood that. But so those days we didn't like him, but we knew that he wanted to just win. You know what I'm saying? So we respected that. and he pushed us, and we got better. Guys individually got better and understood the game a little bit in a different light, especially playing with the Euro League and the Euro rules too. So it was fun.
Tell me about my boy. He don't get a lot of credit in the league, but this is one of my favorite players. Me and my partner Rio. This one I favorite. Man, I want to talk about Patty Mills. Tell me about how tough this. I mean, y'all just
Big
picked
shot
him
Patty.
up, but like I'm talking about Olympic Patty Mills is something different. Just talk about how he go crazy how special young Patty Mills is.
It's like he got faster.
He be so fast.
It's like when he put that Australian team jersey on, he just get faster, and he a little bit more shifty now. Like he handling a little bit more, hands up, like with the hezios and the between the legs step backs, and like he just getting more freedom out there when he played with the national team. And that was one of the things that he wanted to. He just want to have a little bit more freedom and play a little bit more of a open style game, so come to our team, that's what we like to do, is get out in transition, play with we don't like to play with too much structure, but like still play a good team game, so hopefully he fit right in and be able to do his thing, and kind of the same way that he did it with his national team. But he was a monster. He had like 40 that last game.
Man, listen, that's like the looking at that, just some of the international players in general, do you feel like when they get with their national team, like we get Evan Fournier, I mean, Luka kind of is Luka regardless, but like
Luka everywhere.
Yeah, like that boy crazy, but like like Rudy Gobert was a whole different type of animal. Like do you feel like when guys get with they national teams, they just be way more confident, they feel like superiority over the rest of the players and ownership is in a leader role or something?
Yeah, like I said, there's only a couple guys in the NBA from these teams, and the rest of the guys are mixed in from guys that maybe play overseas or guys that may be in and out the league, but they looked at as the leaders on their teams, usually the first and second options, know. So the whole offense go through these guys. So you take on a different role, gain more responsibility, and these guys are naturally talented anyway. So that's the reason why they play big minutes in the league. So you come over there and give them the rock and tell them to go just play. You see what Evan Fournier was doing, Patty was doing. I was impressed with Matisse Thybulle, yo. He was coming down shooting pull-up threes. And
they talk about he can't shoot,
right? He felt like a threat from the three.
He was hooping.
And then, in the regular season, people, don't play his jumper as much, but he got better. And he got more confident playing with the national team, so Joe Ingles,
Yeah,
he locks.
He was always tough.
He locks, and then the defensive game over there, everybody, you can sit in the paint now, so you're getting a little bit more creative defensively. So you're learning some aspects of the game that you can take back to the league, and these guys are getting the ball all game, playing 40 minutes, So when you get the rock out like that, it's always fun.
Is the game more physical in the Olympic game than it is the NBA game?
In certain parts, you can't be. We're a little bit more handsy in the league. We can get away with maybe a little swipe down, get a steal, use our hands to get a steal, but it feel like you use your hands over in a Euro, it's an instant foul. But you can body up a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't play with your hands, which is cool. I mean, you get taught to be in position and be physical.
To the game.
Yes, but using your hands, you prone to get a lot of fouls. So they strict on that, and the defensive three. I think that was this difference. But outside of that, I mean, it's pretty much the same. But if you learn how to use your body instead of your hands, then it's not bad.
How dope is it to again be, the cover athlete of 2K? You know what I'm saying? We talk about 2K22, me and KD do this over here. We really out here, people.
Yes.
You know what I'm
at a consistent level.
Come see us, you feel me? We efficient with this. Like just tell me how was that to, know, what I'm saying, something that you really do, regardless if you was gonna be involved with it all, but like to really be featured and be involved in it. How is that for you?
We gamers, like you just said, bro. We on it.
I see the real play. I'm getting inspiration over there in the zone. I say, I know. I'm gonna know what it's looking like when you out here locking
zoned
in.
Exactly.
I'm gonna know exactly what's going on.
You know the area
now. So like, just talk about that, because it's definitely listen, world. It's A1. All right, I'm just say that.
Yeah, see, you get it now. So that's how important it is. You know what I'm saying? So to be on the cover, I mean, that's just a thing. I'm in the headsets with the homies. It's just like
you got the special delivery, right? 2K come to the Palisade to the hey, this is a private location. There's some magnificence going on. The ambiance this is architectural digest type situations going on. That's all I'm gonna say, y'all.
So yeah, when the homies, I was more excited to tell the homies in the headsets like, yo, I'm about to be on the next cover.
Y'all still over there?
Yo, so it was it's good. I mean, because I play the game every day, so it's fun to be a part of it on that level, and to have that partnership with 2K for this long. It's been a minute, you know what I'm saying? So, and it's gonna be a lifetime thing with me because I'm always gonna rock with 2K, you know what I'm saying? So it's something I wanted to be aligned with, and I'm glad it worked out.
You on there with Kareem and Dirk, like, man, legends.
Yeah, man, then on there with them. It's a real art piece too.
Yeah, real art piece.
That was the dope part too.
Yeah, so it was perfect.
Hey, we part of the gang too, you know what I'm saying? Me and the blackest one, we signed upon, so it's gang.
You know what I'm saying?
We got some special deliveries too.
Yeah.
I'm a mama's boy, and every time I see your mom, she always reminds me of my mom. Like, she's like a strong woman.
Yeah.
People be like, "Oh, D-Miles, you real." And the reason I'm real is because the way my mama raised me, how she kept it real with me. So speak about your mom and like what she meant. She not gonna let you be fake.
Nah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes your realness come off on people and they be like, "Hey, my mom taught me this way."
Yeah, and she was direct with it too, and like blunt with it, on the spot. You know what I'm saying? That kind of that guided me into a way. I mean, I had to watch myself around the house, you know what I'm saying? I had to be on point, you know? So I felt like I had to be focused in the house and even more focused when I left, So I didn't realize at the time, but it was just grooming me to be locked in on something that I love. So my mom was just showing me stuff, teaching me lessons like that every day with just her movements and her actions, So I could just think back, I'd be in the room just chilling, thinking back to the stuff that I've seen her do and that I do now, you know what I'm saying? So, and we got a relationship now that we can sit and talk about literally anything. And it's fun, It's not like she talking down on me. Yeah. We having conversation as grown-ups, human beings about different perspectives, She value mine. When I got to that point with my moms, I was just like, this is a sweet spot for me, you know what I'm saying? So I love how our relationship grown. I love how invested she is in the game. She know the game so well now, just from watching, for this last decade, you know what I'm saying? So it's cool to see that, and she mentoring other moms, and she just doing her thing. I just love
how
to
you
see
laugh at that clip of her and PJ that they were showing? How she getting on her and then she like, "I love you too, baby."
She's so funny, because she be getting so mad to the point I'm like, I got to tell her, like, after the season, I'm like, you cannot be getting this mad at these basketball games to the point where a ref got to look back at you and talk to you. You can't be doing that. Yeah. And she just be like, "What? They be cheating." I'm like, they not cheating, yo. Just relax. You know what I'm saying? But she still just like, she treated like her son that was 10 years old going out there to hoop, man. She got that kid like joy, just like I try to approach it with. And I love seeing that every time I come out and see her over there. It's like nostalgia. It brings me back to when I was young.
For the common fan that don't understand it, talk about how it is when you could be out there like PJ, your brother, but you could be out there ready to go to blows with him. But then, it's still all love. Just talk about that relationship. Like he said, she see you go, y'all going at it, and then she said, "I still love," because she know it's all love, even though y'all competing. But just because we were like that.
I be about to BQ ass, and then it be like, I chill out on
them days.
I be raising this boy up since
I be busting his ass, then he get mad, I about beat his ass, and I be like, "Nah, I'm cool."
He want to put that elbow, try to put that elbow in there.
I give him that 6'9" wingspan and just fuck him up.
Yeah, too aggressive after that.
He was a $185 soaking wet.
So you try to bully off top.
When he started doing that bull, I'm going to go ahead and lean on him and say,
"Big don't work with me, man. I know them moves."
Let's talk about the PJ PJ Tucker relationship and how, you know what I'm saying, y'all could be at it, but it's going to always be all love.
Yeah, I just take it back to when I was a freshman at Texas and PJ had just got drafted, and like he was like, we instantly clicked since there. He was like, you know, my brother then, and you know, always been there to be a, you know, to give advice, just to be there to hang out, talk to, you know. So yeah, I remember the first day we played pickup against each other, I was coming down really dotting him up from deep.
Right.
I'm talking about because he didn't realize I can shoot. So he was playing with his hands down behind the three-point lines, and I made like 3 in a row, and Rick Barnes was just in there, just like egging me on and egging him on. And then he amped up the physicality, and it was tough for me to move. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, you know, this is the strongest guy I've played against thus far in my life. So if I can kind of work through that, then I'll be all right.
Anything.
And then, you know, so each matchup has been like that from day one. And I feel, and I love it because we came up through like in the same college, being coached by the same guys, and we built this relationship like that. And his career has gone a lot of different ways, and you know, to see him playing high level basketball, starting, winning championship, and playing on meaningful games is fun to see. Yeah, it's fun to see the guys that I kind of came into to this game with, kind of see him grow that way, and all of us still here doing it is sweet.
Being successful.
Yeah, you know, and then my moms know how that whole story go between me and P too. So it's just like I said, bring you back to when your homeboys and your mom and you know your family talking a little trash on the sideline, but it's all love at the end of the day because we know what it is.
But that was to me that was such a beautiful moment because like we understand that moment. We understand the fire in your mama. And at the same time, I love you, baby. But
the whole scenario. But I'm with my baby right now.
We grew up like this since elementary school, seeing this happen.
To
see it on that stage, that was just dope to catch that moment.
I love it because the game of basketball brings out that competitive nature in everybody, but it's still love at the end of the day because it's a game, you know. So even the fans can get into it that way, but at the end of the day, it's all about respect, and people respect how PJ played me that series, and they respect how I played and we competed. And at the end of the day, that's what's inspiring people more than anything, I think.
Tell me, how crazy is it for you to see his sneaker prowess? Like the ability to get shoes that y'all don't, like you got your own line, and just like you, Giannis, and I've seen him, like this boy done showed me and him, literally he has RPEs.
Bro,
RPEs from 2000.
He got shoes in my size. He don't
his
even wear
real
my
size, 18s, that he not even planning on wearing. He has them like, bro, let D-Miles know. He didn't sent me so many pairs, and he still got new pairs.
Man, he done got all my shoes now, so he don't even text me. I'm talking about to the point where
I've seen him with Melo, with you, with like Giannis, with people. Like, how is it for him to get? How do you like?
I don't know how he get them. I'm sure he go through his back channels or whatever, but he gets
amazing.
Yo, the black market.
He got a pair of some, I want to say KD4s, and I thought we only made like 6 pairs, and all my family got them. Like just really 6 pair of these joints.
And PJ strolled up with a pair.
A random ass day, he sent me a picture of them joints, and I'm like, yo, how did you? I think I called him right after. I was like, yo, seriously, yo, how did you cop these? Because I don't even think we made more than a certain number of these joints, but he's just like, man, don't even worry about it. You know how I do. You know, I come with it.
Yo,
I'm like, all right, man.
Thaddeus Young is a closet one. He got a lot of my PEs, like from like how PJ do, like real life. Be like Thaddeus Young. He not like out there on the internet. He got a lot of joints, and he was like, yo, I need you. I said, whenever he would want me to sign with it, I'm like, yo, for sure. But like,
you got
he sent me a couple previews. Like, I'm like, he like on some PJ type level.
You got your store is looking crazy though.
I'm decent.
Nah, see,
you know what I'm saying?
Your store, because you was getting PEs and the retros though.
Listen, I'm
it was to a point where I got
some joints up in Fat Joe's store up New York. I got some Miami Heat.
You was 12s. Getting the PEs.
See, that's what I like. Listen, we was part of that era. Me, DA, Bibby,
y'all was getting
Ray.
Y'all closets is crazy. That era, like what? That's like early 2000s.
Yeah.
Y'all was getting. They weren't making no other shoes but retro.
We were the second official year. The first year was like Eddie Jones, J Kidd, Vin Baker,
J Kidd was
Derek
Jordan?
Anderson,
Randy Moss.
Yeah, Eddie Jones.
Moss had his own shoe, right?
Yeah, Moss had his own little.
And them joints was a hit.
Yep. And so we was like the very second year of the like Ray Allen kicked it off. He was the first original.
I know his
man.
closet.
That's why I say he the only like listen when everybody be like yo, cause I've never been a sneakerhead. I just take what I get. But like we blessed to get a lot with the brand. So everybody be like, oh, P. I'd be like, listen. Ray Allen is the GOAT because you gotta think about it when you know how it is when you with Nike and the brand and stuff like when they playing for them playoffs like you know what I'm saying like he was with teams where the Celtics, the Heat, where he get ring game editions like he got all type of different shit that we don't get. So it's like we got some dope flavor. But like he kill you when he come over the top. Man, that man came out mismatched with the 11s and the 13s. Like bruh, like
the gold
ring game, but the gold on like the
gold.
Come on,
what was those 11s?
Nobody, 11s. Like, it's curtains. It's what is
that Hall of Fame package that he
with
sent
the Sugar Ray on it, like it's curtains.
And the Sugar Ray logo is classic. One of a kind. Yeah, the Jordan era when like 90 what was
that
it?
PE, that 99,
2006,
7, no, maybe like 8. No, I'm gonna go probably to 9 and 10 because even when I got to the Magic in
you still 11,
I had some 13s, the blue and black 13s and the white and black.
See, up until that's when, and then everybody had the same font on the back of their joints.
We all had different look, but you see the dope thing about Jordan Brand for real, like we all got to work with them and like everybody had a custom logo. Like whether it's from Joe Johnson to Bibby, he had his Team Dime stuff. I had the Q5. It was like everybody like they worked with you to do a logo. Cause my best friend had written mine up. D. Gates did mine because he was cold at art. But like, that was the best thing about it because it was
Russ,
like you getting a retro
too,
and it's really yours. Like I remember at the House of Hoops, they came out with my New York Knicks 8s. Crazy.
I know
like they still right now on the internet like for like 2,700 on the internet.
Bro. That's what I mean. Jordan, if they did that today, when they retro and Luka getting retro,
Tatum
getting retros, and they getting the pick from one all the way up to whenever.
It's over. It's curtains. That's when it gets spooky.
That's when it gets spooky. Any of the colors, how they colors is
put
now?
them colors out with them players.
Oh my
it's
goodness,
going crazy. Cause you already know how I go with that brand. Tell me this though, how cool, like how dope was it for you to do the sit down with Draymond on his show and for y'all to get to really piece it up and you could tell that it was just like y'all really we got to be flies on the wall with y'all just chopping it up on some real shit.
Yeah, we chopped it up on another level. I mean, he came on my podcast too, so
y'all did do vice versa.
Yeah, during the season. And we just chopped it up about hoops, life, or whatever. And he was just like, yo, let's do it again. And I'm like, man, we always had deep conversation. You know, cameras on, we always talking about, you know, something. You know what I'm saying?
You tell Dre one of those just passionate talking dudes every time you talk.
Curious, and we both curious. So it was good to get that on camera. I mean, Dre always been one of those guys he's a deep individual, intellectual, and really understands things on a different level, and so for people to see that too, and a lot of basketball fans thought it was so much tension, but and I don't even want to call it beef, like whatever they want to call it now in the NBA world, like whatever that is, it was a lot of that, amongst NBA fans. So to kind of get that little stuff out the way and actually talk about some cool topics was fresh.
I thought it was dope because y'all gave a player's perspective when they always just say that the organization is always right or the organization didn't fumble the ball. So when the players tell them like, nah, this is what happened, you never get the players speaking on a situation that happens. I feel like that's dope, not only for everybody now that get platforms to say that. We don't got to use the regular media to put that out. I think the media, the non-basketball media, the non-people who's not players, they didn't understand what y'all was saying. When y'all was saying y'all perspective. They fumbled the ball. The organization can fuck up sometimes too.
Yeah, I mean, back in when y'all came into the league, you usually got those stories out through beat writers and people that were close to the team, meaning they got the team's best interest at the end of the day.
Whatever the organization said, that's what happened.
Yeah, I mean, so to keep that relationship, they got to do what's best for the team. So nowadays, with the social media boom and just the media boom in general, like, now we get platforms to kind of talk on our own and give our own perspectives. It's good to get both sides because I'm sure
Yeah.
you're gonna hear from the organization side somehow, some way through
Yeah.
somebody, and now kind of to get both sides, you starting to understand the league a little bit more as a fan. So it was good to do that. It's good that every player is out here utilizing that.
Like, people don't understand that us as ball players, we all a bunch of alphas that's in the
Yeah.
room together. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes it be tension there. We all come from different situations that we was alphas coming to it. They don't understand all the alpha wolves around each other, and it just be that, and we just need somebody to keep it, you know what I'm saying, together.
I mean, that's the journey in the league. It's millions and millions upon us that's trying to get to these 450 spots each year, you know what I'm saying? And each year, you get like 30 new slots in for young dudes. I mean, 60 new slots, so, everybody was the guy at some point, so the journey is how can you fit everybody together and understand what each person does and how they're going to bring something to a team. Like you've seen so many great teams that didn't come together and like they were supposed to on paper. And you've seen so many great, bad teams on paper come together and win well, you know what I'm saying? Because they, build some camaraderie. So yeah, it's and that's what happens sometimes. You get guys on the team, Draymond, myself. We gonna get into it. Just like we Andre Iguodala gonna get into it with Draymond or Clay or So it's just a part of the game. It's a part of being on the team with dudes for 6-7 months out the year.
Yeah.
I feel like when you look at like the history of the game, I feel like you're one of the most interchangeable, versatile players to ever play. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it doesn't matter what type of team you play with, that you could fit in any system. Like you can, you know what I'm saying? Like you can play multiple positions, you know what I'm saying? Facilitate, score, defend, do different things, just add stuff. I think you showed that on the national level, on the, playing in the Olympics, and then obviously playing with different teams. What is your take on that, and just saying how like you feel like you can fit in with any type of team?
Yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to be able to do to be in any situation, especially scoring a basketball. I think that was the first level for me, is learning how to score in different ways. Transition, coming off pin downs, pick and roll game. Once I got to the league, isolation game, all of that stuff. I felt like I had to master that first, and then once I, understood that, then learning how to incorporate everybody on the floor into what I was doing as well. And so those are the hurdles I had to jump and the stuff I had to learn throughout my time. And I always wanted to be a guy that can play in, amongst with anyone or any stage, pick up to the league, So and I had to round out my game mentally and physically. So yeah, I could confidently say that, I feel like I could mesh well in any system with any player. I could figure out how to make it work.
How is it to see guys like Dame and Devin Booker and Drew Holiday and Middleton, to see them guys work? How was that to see them guys work and see them up in person?
It was interesting to see everybody, their routines and how they prepare for games. And that's one of those things, I mean, you around great players, you want to see how they move and see what makes them great. And you've seen a lot of it every day, I mean, I feel like each player, uh, have reached a point in their careers, they know exactly what they need to do to be successful out there. And they stick with it, from post-practice routines to, pre-game routines. I've seen a lot of guys just, stick with it and keep that grind. And, when you figure out your routine, that's the easy part. You can do something like that every day and know that you can produce good results. That's when you start getting better. And you see it with guys that been in the league for a little bit.
Did anybody do anything that like stood out to you or impressed you? Like any of those guys you talking about in their routines and the way they went about their work and their preparation?
Yeah, I was impressed by everybody, but Bam Adebayo stood out to me the most because I had high expectations for him because he talk a lot of shit in a good way. Like he like a brother, he talk shit. So every time I see him, I'm always challenging him to do something. And so he worked on his game tirelessly. He's in the mid range. He's working on his handle, working on his post moves, and to see him, super focused on what he wants to do out there, and just talking to him and listening to what he wants to do out on the floor. He's focused, and his work ethic stood out. Being in Miami, playing for some vets, playing under some vets like D Wade and UD, you could tell they taught. They led by example. They led well out there, so he picked up some good traits for some good vets.
We just talked to our young boy, young Tatum, the other day, and just tell me how that was to, even though y'all gave him the gentleman sweep, got him up out of there, but youngin', he was putting it down. You know what I'm saying? He was like kind of serving notice that he coming. Just tell me about how it was battling with him, and then you played on the USA team with him as well. Just talk about young Jay Tatum.
No, he's a problem, man. He's a amazing shot maker. It's one thing that really stood out when we played him. The length on his jumper is tough to get a contest up or a good contest, and then the handle with it and his creativity with it. It was impressive. He's a couple moves. He show you a step back hezzy, then he'll cross it over again to a pull up mid range. It's just like he got a lot of tools in his bag, and at that age, it's rare to see that.
23.
Yeah, and he's only getting more mature,
stronger,
physically, but playing with him in Team USA, he had to come off the bench. So you learning a different aspect of the game, learning how to approach the game differently. So I seen him, get better in that role, and was still like, 27 off the bench,
right,
21 off the bench, and it's just like, you figure out how to still get yours off in any situation. That's when you become dangerous, and I could just see him growing, and he's gonna be a problem for some years, So you got to buckle up when you playing against them, but it's a fun challenge because he enjoys playing.
Yeah, he came to Orlando. Well, he was in Orlando a little bit before you guys went out to Vegas and all that for USA. And he came in, he worked out at a gym there, and we got him the gym. And I was just sitting there, rebounding with I think he had like his nephew with him, and rebounding and just watching his progression. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I remember calling my agent Jeff after that, like, yo. Young boy, special boy. Just
special
how you
player.
watch somebody and they working out, and when you just like you said, his skill level, the progressions he doing, do how many makes of this, and then he just going out there. He ain't nobody training with him. He just got me, and then the coaches at the local high school sitting there. We rebounded and right, and I'm just watching him like okay, you serious with this?
He's ain't learning how to pass that thing. Like he can make plays. Like he got to score for that team. Like last year, he had to score with a lot of stuff they had going on with their team. Guys in and out the lineup.
Yeah.
But he really can, come off the ball and make the right play. He played on some good teams his whole life, basically.
Yeah,
so he know how to play a role other than just, I got to get a bucket. So, it's he's a special player, man. It was good. It was fun playing with him, getting to know him a little bit deeper too.
You said you always scrolling. Talk to me about your social media presence and your no hesitation the speak your mind, and like I see a lot of times it doesn't necessarily have to be a blue check or a verified person. Like if you just like you said, like to me, in my opinion, you do what they would generally say they want from the players, because everybody wants all access and you only talk to the suit, you only talk to the famous people. Like you'll talk to whoever. If somebody say something that sparks your interest, you'll just respond to whomever. Like, so how do you feel like you came into that space where it's like, whatever, I'm going to just, I might have a burner account, or I'm going to come from my real account and just say whatever I want to say. And I'm going to always, because like the thing I learned about you, just, we go back and forth a lot on DM, and the thing I tell you, I say, boy, you don't miss nothing. You see, because you just said it to me, well, you like me, you see a lot. I say, and so we done went back and forth with that. So how did you get to be that person that you don't really miss nothing, and you ain't afraid to say something?
You start hearing so much stuff, and like through the grapevine, like you see that article on you, or you see that this on you, or I don't want to be the last dude to hear some stuff on me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I got to stay up on who talking about what, especially when it comes to me, because we run around and roam amongst all of these, NBA writers. So it'd be cool. A lot of these dudes be cool in front of you, and then go back and write how they really feel about you. So I want you to say that. Let's have a conversation about that type of stuff. So I just be standing up to who got to say what. You know what I'm saying? Who the voices of this thing now? You know what I mean? So and a lot of times they got conversation about me. So I just be poking in here and there, give my little insight, leave. Y'all keep the conversation going, but I'm still paying attention. And when I want to poke out, I'm gonna do it. And I think the fans who watching this whole show, this whole show, they think it's funny, and I like making them laugh sometimes.
So speaking of that, because that's how I feel like, because I feel like a lot of the fans take it way more serious than you do. I feel like you have like, I be feeling like sometimes, because I see a lot of, like you say, I see a lot of stuff. I feel like, man, he cracking up right now, but I feel like they feel like it's a 911. They taking it so serious, and it's like, man, I know for a fact he's sitting back cracking up.
I be cracking up because the truth be so funny.
And it's like, y'all, I don't want to say y'all, well, I do. I should say, because they don't get it. Because they think that because we NBA players, we former, but they think because you're an NBA player or whatever, celebrity or whatever, that you different.
Yeah.
We the same, bro.
Yeah.
You put your pants on one leg at a time, just like me, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, but the funny thing is, what I kind of learned is like, it's really interesting from a fan perspective, learning the inner workings of like organization, what goes on behind the scenes, because all they see is the games before. Now they're getting to see the little conversations that may go on in the locker room. They get more insight from the front office. They might get a little day in the life video with the team, so they like, oh shit, like I'm more involved with the team. So
I know what's going on.
So now these conversations that they have, and people take them a little bit more personal than they would before, because they feel way more invested, having all this knowledge of what goes on outside of the game. So it's like they take it way more serious and projecting their feelings onto me, when I'm just like, yo, when like we know what goes on in the league, it's not as glamorous and it's not as controversial as people think. So it's like we sit back and be like, yo, you really got this, you really got this, like you really hyping this story.
Ain't nobody talking to nobody like that.
It's not really going on like that. So to me, it's funny. To us, it's funny who really been in it, but it's like to them, they ain't been in it every day like we have, and they don't really get it. So to see, people get so serious, that shit do be funny to me.
That was the one thing that stood out to me about my time in New York. That was the first, cause like, when I play in LA, it's a huge media market. We were the Clippers, so it wasn't so much about that. And we were there during the three-peat of the Lakers, so we was really in the corner section. You feel me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and like we carved out our Clipper Nation, but like it just wasn't like that. So going to Phoenix, it was like Phoenix was dope. It was Steve Nash MVP year. We went 62-20, but that was the media, the whole city loved Phoenix. They loved that team.
Win or lose,
they loved when we lost, bro. If you could have seen how we landed back from San Antonio,
it was like you won.
It was crazy at the airport area. It was like, yo, this is sick. But like, well, when you got to New York, it was like, oh snap. It was like, it's really, and it was like, as soon as I got traded there, everybody I knew, they was all like, yo, everybody was saying, is it? And you got there, and it was like, yo, this is ill. And it was like you said, like you could see all of these headlines and all of this drama circulating, and we in the locker room like, like this is crazy. Yo, did y'all see the paper today? Like, what's really good? Like, and all us sitting there really literally laughing and cracking jokes about it. And it's like, obviously every now and again there's some truth to this or that, but it's like the way this stuff be overblown and totally made up.
It's like,
totally made up. Totally made up.
It's
like
funny to the point.
Wait a minute, like, all right, some shit happened. But what?
Not that.
What? Like y'all so far off base, and that is totally made up.
You see how they, all of the shit sensationalized. Like media is really, really powerful, yo, and it's really important that you get it from the horse's mouth. Like when you can tell the truth about something that's going on, that's refreshing to people, and instead of getting all these lies, especially, I can imagine so many guys coming in the early 90s, 2000s, they ain't had a platform to just tell the truth about what may have went down
People
between.
believing that be on you.
Exactly, and that's your perception moving
yeah.
around here when it's just like, nah, I could explain this shit way better. It might have, I definitely had fault in it, but let's explain both sides at least, you know what I'm saying? So people can really get the understanding. So doing this and having my own podcast, sometimes it be thinking like, damn, they really must have felt suppressed, truly suppressed, what they, a lot of guys that went through some turmoil in these organizations.
How was it for you? Like you just said, you got your own podcast. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? You guys
You know what I'm saying?
me,
That's
man.
what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah.
Brothers out here doing it damn. You got 35 inches doing it big, and now you come with the et ceteras. I be checking it out. Like, it's whatever you trying to do. Like, how was it for you to have your own platform? Because you was somebody that even before you had it, you would jump down with anybody and just chop it up on some, like, if you vibing with them, you would do that. You somebody that like to conversate. How was that for you to, have your own platform now and be able to talk about whatever the hell floats your boat?
Yeah, man. When I hopped, when Twitter came out and Facebook and Instagram, I felt like I was one of the first users of all of that shit. So it's like just an evolution of that. I felt.
But you wasn't on Black Planet though.
I was on Black Planet, MySpace. I was
OG, like Soulja Boy. I was the first hooper really getting it in.
Yeah, man. So once all that stuff hit, the internet hit. It was just like, all right, now this the evolution of like getting my voice out, expressing myself the way I want. All the pages you.
But you a LimeWire baby, huh?
All of that, man.
And all the music on LimeWire.
All the music. Don't know about LimeWire. Hey, that's where you get all that music from.
We had to really go search for some music. You know what I mean? So like, I remember that internet boom. It felt like, and I think just having that freedom to tell your stories and to be involved in communities that you mess with, like we talk about a lot of music on our podcast, and like it's really a music party for you know what I'm saying? Because we talking to we talk to basketball players, but we talk to a couple guys that that doing the film world and the music world, and it's just like getting that perspective and seeing how it all ties back to what we do on an everyday basis. It's cool to be on the other side of like asking questions and being curious about shit. So it's fun. It's fun.
I always be executive producing like guys like documentaries and stories and stuff like that to get a chance to tell somebody else's story. And
bro, that's really what I wanted to do when we first started. Tell genuine stories, like the Stephon Marbury doc we did. I think that was told perfect.
Man, that was dope.
When I mean perfect, just like the lane that I wanted to be in, like those type of stories, how it looked, how it was shot. I think it was, really piqued my interest to do, stuff in that lane. And, so we did the PG County doc detailing where I came from and the hoopers from that area. So it's just just learning more and more about the business and learning more what it takes to produce stuff like that. It's tough, yo. I got a lot of respect for people who,
long hours,
who invest their time into doing that, man. It's a lot of long hours of doing that, and I just got gained so much respect for people who work behind the scenes to make this stuff come to life, because our lives was just like framed off of what we seen on TV and to know that you got that much power through what you're doing. I know I might be going deep and on a tangent and shit,
real
but
shit,
like
though. That's influence.
It's like the influence. That's what I was thinking about when I wanted to start creating this stuff. So to see where it is now and to see that we can just keep getting better and keep growing, like it's a sweet part about it.
The stuff that you doing like off the court, like by doing the movies and creating shows and all that stuff, you feel like you leading the new generation to show them like it's other things you can do outside of basketball and create yourself?
No, I feel like this has always been a evolution, a passing of the torch. So many great business minds that were hoopers before in the 70s, 80s, dudes that are still out here using what they've learned, through that NBA experience to live life after, when they retire. And, you hear about the Junior Bridgman, you hear about the Vinnie Johnsons, and you hear about, obviously, you see what Bron doing in real time right now. And, Isaiah Thomas, what they were doing, MJ, like Magic, Mashburn, like these dudes is like quietly doing their thing out here. And when you hear these stories on the low, it's very inspiring because, our whole life is about hoop. And then we get to that point where we got to start thinking about, what can we do after we're done, but how can we sustain this lifestyle that we built for ourselves and, actually put our mind to something else, So you see these guys with the, being innovative in what they do is very inspiring. I just learn from them all.
For you to be a hoop junkie, historian, savant, whatever you want to call it, of the game, you watch people like you talked about how you grew up watching D and different, guys under his build, and you took stuff from him and stuff. How does it feel for you to see guys like Brandon Ingram, all of the slender guys that's coming with the game like that, the kid in high school, Imani Bates, like how does it feel for you to see all of these big guys that's built like you that's trying to mimic their game after you, and now you are one of those prototype dudes, like how you said you try to take something like you are one of those guys that's gonna be viewed and trying to be mimicked.
Yeah, I feel like our build, that skinny build, that's like a unique build within the sport. You know what I'm saying? So whenever I see guys from the Lawrence Moten to DeMar Johnson, to you, to Jonathan Bender, to even Jermaine O'Neal, early Jermaine O'Neal was in there. KG was in there, who else I was just thinking about? Rasheed Wallace was in that wiry frame look, who was skilled, so seeing all Tayshaun Prince, like L.O. I was looking, so it's like I was looking at a lot of those dudes and trying to, implement what they was doing and add my own unique twist. And I feel like that's what the younger generation, guys coming up after me, are doing the same. So I'm just building off what y'all had already put in place, because it was tougher for y'all. Imagine, I can only imagine if I was in the 90s and that's the first time a team has seen somebody this tall running and jumping like that.
Yeah, they gotta trust you to be 6'9", 7 foot dribbling the ball. Exactly, they'll throw you in the post.
A lot of guys broke that barrier for me to, kind of be accepted and to take it to where I'm taking it, and and now to lead by example and just keep doing what I'm doing and seeing other guys like, yo, I watched you when I was young. I'm like, yo, I was that same kid telling somebody, yo, I watched you when I was young, so it's sometimes it'd be bittersweet because I'm like, shit, I am getting older,
stuff that you do, you got other kids do the same stuff to you.
Yeah, man. So it's a sweet moment. Like Jason Tatum, I was just like, yo, you really 10 years younger than me, bro.
Yeah.
I'm getting older. Shit, I remember looking at Kobe when I was playing in USAB, like, damn, this dude been in the league for so long, killing like that. So yeah, it's especially dudes our build, like our size, and you lose confidence sometimes going through this journey. When you see guys that did it before, you give you a little bit of more inspiration.
How is it for you to see like your peers, like older guys, younger guys, the guys that was like in your era, like love your game, respect your game, and respect the way you do it, how you carry yourself, the way you do it? Like, how is that for you to receive them?
That's really what it is for me.
That's what it's about.
Like, I like everything about the game. I love what we can get from it. I love winning and experiencing all of that. But like when you step on the court and you get that respect from people who really play every day, like that means a lot to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, we all grinding to be good at something out here. So like, and people respect your grind and they respect you all the way through as a human being. Like they got respect for your whole family because they see like, yo, you put in some work. So I feel like I'm representing my family and everybody when I work hard, simply put. And when people see that and they see the effort I put into it and the care I put into it, and for them to acknowledge that, it's like we connected now. Because it's like you understand how hard it was to get to this point.
Well, we definitely understand and know that you done reached legendary status, my boy. So it's much respect and love. This your third time chopping.
This is legendary status.
I feel like you know what I'm saying.
We got 3 of these joints.
Yes, you know what I'm saying. You one of the homies.
I need a plaque,
ladies and gentlemen.
Yo, whatever.
Not only a client, you the president.
Yo, whatever y'all do a video, I might need my little 7/35 up in
Look,
the
he
corner,
he wanna
hang my
look-
jersey up, yo, because you
Straight
know what I mean. I've been here 3 times.
Nah, man, we appreciate it, bro. We out here we at a very private location. Y'all see, we back live on location. This is, I'm gonna just say this is, like I said, architectural digest type situations going on here. This is,
Yo,
the
don't believe
ambiance
him,
is
yo.
incredible.
This is-
We
he's
need
lying.
a Jay-Z or a Rick Ross song playing or a Drake song right now. That's a wrap, man. We appreciate you, man. We out here live on location with Easy Money Sniper, man. It's been real, my boy.
Yeah, man.
My brothers.